the team has been introduced and the judges have also been introduced. So we named the teams Team A and Team B. The total time we're going to spend is about 45 minutes. But that 45 minutes is before and after the competition, because the competition itself is more than 45 minutes. So, sorry, the competition, we have already agreed on the competition time. So, unless you want me to adjust it again. All right, good. Well, each team will have 10 minutes for the debate. So, we are working within time. Each team will have 10 minutes, and then we'll have 5 minutes for rebuttal. So, we are working within time. Of course, the judges will have enough time to tally their scores and produce the result. That's all within that 45 minutes and thereabout. Now, the scores will be this way. We have divided it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 parts. Presentation will be 30 minutes. Sorry, 30 marks. Content will be 30 marks. Appearance will be 10 marks. Time will be 10 marks. Time management will be 10 marks. And rebuttal will be 20 marks. Total 100%. Now, the teams have been reminded, and I remind you again, that the time will be shown on the screen. It may not be necessary for us to interrupt you to remind you, but maybe 1 minute to it, I probably should remind you, because human beings may not always remember the time. When I'm looking at the time, 1 minute to it, I remind you. But surely, you have done this before, so I'm sure you will be able to manage your time well. Surely, at that time, I will stop you. Well, anything you have in your mouth, you swallow it. Then, I don't know, the judges will probably say a word, if they wish, before we commence. Are you sure? Unfortunately, I met these judges this way. No woman there here. No woman there here. So my hand no there. My hand no there. So let's sit back and watch. We had contemplated that we probably should have done a poll to see how we feel about wig and gown at the end, but it seems that we may not be ready with that. There's a small survey we already done earlier. We'll show the result at the end then, and the gift, the prizes. I thought we should have waited for the debate to finish before you decide to buy wig and gown. I thought we were deciding whether we are using wig and gown. Okay, but Chair.
Thank you, Prof. It is getting more interesting. I have just been informed that a very generous member of the inner bar is upset that the winning team will take only 750,000 naira. That is not a round enough figure. So this senior advocate of Nigeria, who has said she has added 250,000 naira. So that the winning team, guys, I hope you are motivated. The winning team will go home with 1 million naira, courtesy of Mrs. Menaya SN SAN. A round of applause for her, please.
Thank you very much. The two teams, one person is the proponent of the topic and the other is opposing. So naturally the proponent will go first, and that's the team of Sophia Udolisa and Moody Johannes, right? Can we have the timer on the screen? Technical units, can you put the timer on the screen? And immediately they start, the time kicks in.
Wow. I think everybody's ready then. We would like you to pay attention, please, and so that we'll have all the audience and silence for absorbing what they are going to tell us. Yes, the timer is 10 minutes per debate, per the presentations, 10 minutes, not 5. You're going to be, sorry? No. It's for two of you to decide how you are sharing it. Because we can't manage the time for you. Yes. You must watch. Yes. Yes, we can. No. It's a team. We're not going to manage the time for the team. If we manage the time for the team, that means it's not a team. Right? It's a team. So you manage your time. Are you going to find it very difficult? If you're not prepared for that, we can adjust. It's fine? Good, guys? Fine? All right. Okay, what will happen? They have decided the timing for themselves. You have decided the timing among yourselves. You have decided the timing among yourselves. I'm not sure. I don't want you to be shortchanged by this technical part. Yeah? Do you want us to help with that timing? We'll help you. You manage it yourself. Manage it yourself. Are you okay with that? Good. Okay, Team A. Sure, you're going to use the microphone.
The legal profession is a honorable profession, and it is expected to be performed by individuals that are honorable and with great integrity. These were the words of the courts in the case of Akomolafe and Nigerian Export Insurance Commission. Good evening, most estimable members of the panel, most honorable members of the bar, my co-debaters. My name, as introduced, is Udolisa Sophia, and I am here with Johannes Modi, and we are arguing in support of the motion, the dress code, the wig and the gown. Does the hood make the monk? My first argument in support of this motion is the fact that the wig and the gown brings about a sense of uniformity for the legal profession. Nigeria is a country that I would like to say, and we know as a fact, is a multicultural nation. We have over 525 languages being represented in this country. So the dress code of a Yoruba man would definitely differ from the dress code of an Igbo man. And even within the Igbo tribe, there are still disparities in the way people would like to express themselves. If we allow everybody to come to court adorned in a fashion that they deem to be expressing their own cultural heritage, are we trying to turn the courts into a fashion parade center? Or are we saying that there is no discipline in the legal profession anymore? Aside from the cultural part of it, the reason why we are supposed to follow this tradition of wearing the wig and the gown is the fact that it brings about control. We know that where there is no law, human beings would always tend to take advantage of it. Even with the existence of these laws that guide us, there are still lawyers that appear in court with funny-looking attires, mind my language, in the name of their wig and gown or their professional attire, which I say wearing the wig and the gown has helped to curtail. The second point is the fact that the wig and the gown helps bring about a sense of identity for every lawyer. So we know that when we get to the court, we see a silk wig and the gown, we know that, yes, this is the learned SAN, and we should accord that much respect because the gown and the attire has given us an indicator of the fact. The same goes for the judges. We know that their own mode of dressing is different from the ordinary litigator. And once we get into the courtroom, we hear that the judge is about to come in without even anybody telling us, this is what you're meant to do. You are already conforming because the rules are already laid down for us to follow suit. I know many may want to argue that maintaining a wig and a gown or owning a wig and a gown is very expensive. Oh, the economy is this, or the economy is that. But in the words of my lecturer, I would like to make reference to that, Professor Imo J. Udofia. He said that the legal profession is an expensive one, so you better make your choices now. If you decided to go ahead to be a lawyer, to be a part of the legal profession, why are you complaining of the expenses that come with that choice that you have made? The third point I would like to canvass in support of this is the symbolic nature that the wig and the gown and our professional attire gives the solemn nature of legal practice. I want to cast our minds back to our respective law dinners. Inasmuch as before the members of the bar walked in, even if we were chit-chatting or doing any other distractive thing, once it was announced that their presence was there, we were all made to conform because of the solemn nature that the law represents. The same goes for our call to bar moment. I can remember when I was called to the Nigerian bar, we were part of the COVID set. And our location where the call to bar was set was different from where the Supreme Court was. But in as much as that event was chaotic, I would like to describe it as such, because lawyers were walking on the road all the way to get to the Supreme Court to sign their name in the roll call. I would describe that as the solemn moment because of that announcement of us wearing our wigs and our gown. That was the point when we all became lawyers. That was the solemnity that we all represented at that point, and that is not changing. So we are here canvassing that, okay, yes, should the wig and the gown make the monk? But we are all guided by these rules. And I will say it over and over again, that the wig and the gown is what makes the monk and should remain like that. So whether it's a Gen Z lawyer that is bringing about this argument, or it's a millennial, or it's a baby boomer lawyer that is bringing about this argument, the fact still remains the same, that the law is there for a reason. Man was made for the law and not the other way around. So yes, we should remain adorned with our wig and the gown because of what it represents and the tradition that it represents. Thank you very much. I would like to give room for my co-debater to expand more on this point. Thank you.
All protocols duly observed. The use of the wig and gown is in compliance with the rules of professional conduct. I will refer you to Rule 36B of the RPC. It provides that a lawyer should comply with the customs and tradition of the bar. And what is this custom and tradition of the bar? One of the custom and tradition of the bar that has become very prominent is the wig and gown. So imagine someone coming to argue for the non-use of the wig and gown. That will amount to a professional misconduct in gross violation of the rules of professional conduct. Custom makes us what we are. Custom gives us our identity. Custom makes us distinct from others. So why should anyone even think of making arguments against the use of the wig and gown in gross violation of the rules of professional conduct? Secondly, the wig and gown was as a result of fashion in the part of the world which we know as Europe today. It represented nobility and prestige, and so it was incorporated into legal practice. And we know today that the legal profession is a profession of nobility and prestige. And so why should we separate ourselves from this nobility and prestige associated with the use of the wig and gown? Thirdly, I cannot count the number of lawyers, several of them, who have been saved from police harassment, police brutality. Why? Just by merely citing the wig in front of a lawyer's car. The mere sight of the wig, they'll say, oh, this one a lawyer, or your compass, just, you know. So why should we want to disassociate ourselves with such that has provided us, that has saved us from the harassment of members of the police force? And so we shall continue to argue, we shall continue to make more points for the reservation, for the continuous use of the wig and gown in the legal profession. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team A. You worked within your time, and that's very okay. Can we now have Team B take the stand?
Good evening, distinguished members of the panel of judges, distinguished senior advocates, present, distinguished seniors, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, my co-debaters. My name is Oluwaseun Adewale Olisa, a member of the Unity Bar, Abuja branch. And I have a mission here. My mission here is to address the issue whether the wig and gown, if the hood makes the monk. In addressing that issue, my colleague and I will be doing justice. We have 8 cardinal points. I'll be addressing 4, you'll be addressing the others. I beg your pardon. I said, my name is Oluwaseun Adewale Olisa, and I have a mission here. My mission here is to address the subject matter, the wig and gown. Does the hood make the monk? In addressing this issue, we have 8 cardinal points. I'll be addressing 4, and my colleagues will be addressing others. To start with, I would love to ask, what makes a lawyer entitled to practice, or what makes one entitled to practice law in Nigeria? It is known by virtue of the rules of the Legal Practitioners Act, Rule Section 2, that a lawyer shall be entitled to practice law in Nigeria if his name is on the roll. Also, what is the role of a lawyer? The rules of professional conduct is to the effect that, Rule 1, a lawyer shall promote and uphold justice, shall promote and foster the cause of justice, shall maintain a high standard of professional conduct, and shall not engage in any conduct that is unbecoming of a legal practitioner. Now, we've identified 2 salient points. What makes me entitled to practice as a legal practitioner is the fact that my name is on the roll, not because I put on a wig and a gown. The other is, what makes me, why am I a lawyer? I'm a lawyer because I'm to uphold and foster the cause of justice. I'm to uphold and observe the rule of law. I'm to ensure that I maintain a high standard of professional conduct, and I do not engage in any conduct that is unbecoming of a legal practitioner. Now, the second point is, what then makes one successfully do justice to a case? Logic, reasoning, intellectual prowess. I stand to say that it is not what I put on. Yeah, I should look good. I do look good without a wig and gown. But it is not the wig and gown that actually makes me successfully litigate. By virtue of the provision which makes room for front loading, the bulk of the work is done in the chambers, where we prepare our pleadings, we prepare all our processes, and then we go to court, we adopt them, and we do justice to what needs to be done. Now, going further, the rules of professional conduct, by virtue of Rule 45, Sub-Rule 2, Paragraph B, is to the effect that a lawyer shall wear the barrister's robe except if he is personally conducting his case. Now, permit me to ask, if I'm personally conducting my case without my wig and gown, does it make me less a lawyer? I believe you know the answer. So if I can successfully handle my case without the wig and gown, and I win my case, does it make me less a lawyer? So we can answer the question that the hood indeed doesn't make the monk. So the wig and gown doesn't make me a lawyer. I'm a lawyer because, 1, my name is on the roll. I'm a lawyer because I have a right of audience. By virtue of the fact that I've been called, I've been qualified, I've been given a qualifying certificate by the Council of Legal Education. I've also been called by the prestigious body of benchers. I'm not a lawyer because I just put on a wig and gown. We have seen the abuse of this wig and gown by so-called skit makers. We see them make a mockery of the legal profession. You just put on wig and gowns and do all sorts of things. I believe we can call sanity back to our profession. Now, one may say, how then do we identify our seniors? Yes, the senior advocates wear beautiful silks. But I can still say their seniority is part and parcel of our profession. Take, for instance, we identify our senior colleagues here. They are seated in front. So the same thing, even if we go to courts without our wig and gowns, we'll give them that privilege. Just sit in front. We give them that honor. Okay, we have arbitration. We have multi-door courts. We don't use wig and gowns there. And we do justice. You know, we go to inferior courts, magistrate courts, and we get justice. These are instances where we dispense with the wig and gown and we still do our work as legal practitioners. So tell me, does the wood make the monk? I disagree. I'm a lawyer because I have been called to the prestigious Nigerian bar. I believe that with this point, I've successfully defended that fact and that truth that not the wig and gown, but my qualification as a legal practitioner. And I'll end with this. If it is the wood that makes the monk, then give the wig and gown to a non-lawyer and take him to court and see what will happen. Thank you.
Right. Good evening, learned seniors, distinguished panel of judges, distinguished colleagues, and everyone present. Straight to the deep of the matter. Does the hood make the monk? The first thing I'm going to be discussing today is the very big conversation on doing substantial justice versus getting boggled down on technicalities. We live in a world where the justice system is trying to move away from technicalities into a world where we're trying to do substantial justice. The question of the wig and gown is plainly a matter of technicalities. It's the reason why a judge can ask you not to appear in their court because you didn't put on your collar or because you're not wearing the right type of socks. But we're trying to move away from that world where people are stopped from being able to do justice or minister as ministers in the temple of justice just because of technicalities. The second thing, right, is the symbolism of the practice and the need to let go of more conservative interpretations of legal practice in favor of more progressive ones. Again, we live in a world where we're trying to move from a point where we are reasoning as to say, oh, you know, we need to dress in this particular manner to appeal to this particular ideology or sense of doing things before we are able to be called as people who are able to do this thing. But we're trying to move away from that world. See, my dear opponents mentioned England, and I'm very glad that they did so, because even the England that they made mention of no longer uses wig and gown. They said it's a thing of nobility and prestige. But firstly, we have our own local interpretations of nobility and prestige. So even if we're going to adopt an interpretation of nobility and prestige, why don't we adopt our own local interpretations? Secondly, even if we're going to adopt anything, right, do we adopt something that is even good for our climate in the first instance? All of you here are lawyers, and you can agree with me that wearing your wig and gown in court sometimes gets really uncomfortable. Because one, our courts are not properly designed in such a way that we have air conditioners, in such a way that we have good ventilation, in such a way that we can wear wigs and gowns in them without feeling uncomfortable. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, it is very crucial to understand something, right? And this is the thing. When we want to copy a practice, right, we can be excused for copying that practice ab initio because we didn't fully understand how that practice favors versus does not favor us. However, when we realize that a practice no longer favors us, there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong in letting go of that practice. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no price tag on the nobility that is inherited from archaic English traditions. There is no price tag, absolutely none of that. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the flavor of just getting this wig and gown and an imperative for changing the narrative and making the bar truly exclusive. We go on about every day about making the bar truly exclusive, making sure that those we admit to the bar are those who really want to be part of the bar. There are people who got admitted to the bar 30, 40 years ago and have never touched their wig and gown since that day. The only reason they went through the hassle of law school, two reasons. Either their parents really wanted them to get it so their parents could answer mama lawyer, papa lawyer, or they just wanted to get it for themselves so that they can answer the name barrister and have a wig and gown hanging somewhere in their wardrobe, gathering dust. So we don't need that anymore. If abolishing the wig and gown is what is going to cut down on the number of people who just want to get a wig and gown and give us people who really want to practice law for the sake of law, who really want to be ministers in the temple of justice, then I say let's move ahead with ensuring that we cut out this wig and gown from our system. Panel. The last bit of stuff I'm going to say before I come back for rebuttals is this. The law does not move unless we move. We are the ones who can influence the progression or otherwise of the law. If we see a practice that is no longer okay for our legal system, it is our responsibility as ministers in the temple of justice to be advocates for the repulsion of that thing, to be advocates for, the banning of that thing, to be advocates for the removal of that thing from our system, to make sure that we have a system that works for each and every lawyer. My colleague already told you that we are already doing justice without the wig and gown. Let's make sure we continue doing that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Time. We will be going to the rebuttals now, and we will have Team A take the stand. Is our timer on? It's 5 minutes rebuttal. Timer? Our timer? Let's get that one ready first. Our timer? Let's get ready. So you can be doing the gossip while we're waiting. Timer, 5 minutes. IT, where are you? Okay, they're working on it. I never chop today, make I drink coffee. Okay, good. So 5 minutes now. We're ready for the timing. Okay, great. Team A will roll off on their rebuttal. 5 minutes.
Standing on all existing protocol, we have all argued well on both sides, but I want to ask a question to the opposing side. Is it the wearing of the wig and the gown that makes skit makers create jokes of the legal profession, or the lack of discipline displayed by lawyers? The truth of the matter is the wig and the gown may not be favorable to our climate, but it is a symbol of that discipline. So whether or not you are in the court, or whether or not you are outside the court, the significance of the wig and gown cannot just be done away with. They also pose an argument that, yes, the wig and the gown is not what makes you a good lawyer. But another thing they are forgetting is that there is the business of the law, and there is the practice of the law. And a good lawyer is one that knows how to combine the both of them. So if you're saying that we should do away with the wig and the gown because that is what is going to make you a good lawyer, why don't you still remain within the confines of the wig and the gown, since that is not what makes you a good lawyer in the first place? Another thing is that you made reference to the fact that the wig and the gown is no longer used in England, but I would like to correct you that it is also still used in the criminal courts of England. In closing this argument, I may not take most of the time, and I don't intend to, but in closing this argument, I know many of us are excited about the fact that, oh yes, we can do it with the wig and the gown. But let's not forget that wearing of the wig and the gown is not just for comfort or discomfort's sake, but it is symbolic and it is tradition. The same way a Yoruba man will not allow an Igbo man speak rubbish of his amala. It's the same way that we should not be eager to do away with the customs and traditions that have built the foundation of the legal practice from time immemorial up until now. Yes, it may not be a trend, but we are our own trendsetters, and we are the ones that will still decide what we want to be relevant to the practice or not. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Team B, just you can stay there for a second. Let them change the time. Okay, good.
Back here again, this time I'm going to be really calm so that I can address all of the stuff that they've said in their speeches. Right, so the first thing Sophia says is the profession is very honorable and we need uniformity. She says we're a multi-tribal society, so we don't want to turn the court into a fashion parade. The first thing I'm going to say in response is this. The law does not exclusively operate in the court. So if you're talking about the law as a holistic body of professionals, you talk about those who don't practice law within the court system. You talk about the fact that they don't need to wear the wig and gown and they are still able to practice law, right? So that argument is not entirely true to say that, you know, because we need uniformity, so we must ensure that everybody wears the same thing. Also saying that, you know, if we allow people to wear whatever they want to wear, the Yoruba man is going to wear his buba and iro, the Igbo man is going to wear his okweze and his ishiago, and the Hausa man is going to wear his babarega. That isn't true. Come on, guys. We have suits. right? And people who practice law in the corporate world wear suits. There's no restrictions on anybody wearing a suit, right? If you want to look corporate, if you want to look good, which is what happens in all of these other Western climes that they so idolize, we can borrow that. We already are doing that, so we can continue with that practice, right? So all we're advocating for here is abolishing a system that doesn't just tune into our own cultural practices, that doesn't tune into the way that we do things here, that doesn't tune into even things as subtle as our weather. The next thing that they say is this: there are other ways. They say, we need a way to identify silks in court. Oluwaseun already responds to that. But I say this: there are other ways to identify people in court. If you go to a magistrate court and a magistrate is coming in from her chamber, so you will not say, because I didn't see her wearing a wig and gown, she's not a magistrate, so let me not stand when she's standing. You will be held in contempt, my dear brother. If you see a learned silk in court sitting in the inner bar, you won't go to him and say, sir, Hayes, come out of there, because you didn't see him wearing silk. You won't do that, right? So these things are not, this is to say that, if we don't have wig and gown, then we won't be able to identify these things. It's not entirely true. Then the next thing they say is, if you're going to be a lawyer, you don't have to worry about the expenses. And I felt like that was a little cruel, because not all of us come from very fortunate circumstances. So if price is even a factor in the conversation on whether people should wear wig and gown, we should really, really consider it. We should try to be making legal education more affordable if that is something that is possible, if that is something that is realistic. So to say people shouldn't worry about the expense of wig and gown or legal education, if they can't afford it, then they shouldn't go to law school, it's not a very realistic thing to say. It's not a very kind thing to say. The next thing that Johan says is talks about Rule 36B of the RPC, which says lawyers should comply with the rules of the law. I have one single response to that: laws change. I'm sure the RPC Johannes was quoting when he came up to this space to speak isn't the same RPC that we have today, because that RPC changed as at last month. The next thing that they say is, it originated in Europe and was incorporated as a symbol of nobility and prestige. I already responded to that. And then Sophia comes up and says something very, very interesting. She says, is it the wig and gown that makes the jokes that skit makers make funny? I have one response. It's not the wig and gown that makes the jokes funny. It is the wig and gown that makes the jokes the butt for lawyers, right? It is what makes it very heartbreaking for lawyers. It is what makes the jokes funnier. It is the reason why your friend who is not a lawyer will show you the joke and say, the law, see what thing that they use your wig and gown do, and then you will laugh and you will be pained because you realize, okay, this is actually a very, very huge mockery. Then the next thing that they say is, the next thing that they say or try to say to salvage, their speech is to say, you know what, we should live in a world where everyone should be comfortable doing this thing because it's the way that we've learned to do things. Ladies and gentlemen, if we continue to do things the way that we've always known to do them, we will never change. Change is the only constant thing in life. And as long as we are living, as long as we are breathing, we must always be amenable to the force of change. I said something before I left this stage, and the thing that I said was this: the law does not move unless we move. We are the ones who can influence the progression or otherwise of the law. If Europe was still stuck in an era where people covered their hair with wigs because they are bowed or because they wanted to treat lice, we would not be wearing wig and gowns today, because we would still be stuck in a world where people only wear wig and gowns, and if you saw them, you would automatically assume this man is bowed or this man has lice. But they moved away from that, found the treatment for bowed head, or even got comfortable wearing their bowed head around, found the treatment for lice, or got comfortable being open about having lice, and then discovered ways of dealing with that problem. What we're trying to do here is discovering a way of dealing with something that many people have become challenged with. Panel, recognize that the only reason why this is a debate today is because there are people in certain quarters who are uncomfortable with it. If there is something in our society that we are uncomfortable with, the most crucial thing that we must do is to engage in a conversation around how to change that thing. If we're not engaging in conversations around how to change that thing, then we are not making progress. Very proud to have opposed this debate. Never been prouder. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that roundup of the Go ahead. We'll give a few minutes to the judges to make their decision. In the interim, Chair, are you ready? Okay. We'll do a poll. Oh, go ahead. They are going into secrecy. This one, did they go without any woman there? Is that other room? No woman.
Sorry, are you feeling the heat? Are you? Are you feeling the heat? There's 1 million naira at stake. And you can see. Ladies and gentlemen, whilst the judges are deliberating, we will have, your voice counts. And I'm sure that everybody in this room, not just the 3 wise men, has a view on this issue. Do you want your voice to be heard on this issue? Do you? Okay, I'm not going to ask you whether you want the hood to make the monk or not. Or should I do a voice vote? Thank you. Now, we have a survey. So the technical team is going to project a barcode up on the screen. That's the code. Please scan this code. It will not steal your info. It will take you to a survey link where you will cast your vote, your opinion on the point. So please quickly scan the barcode. Yes, you are not voting for the teams. You are voting on the topic. Okay? And we have 5 minutes exactly for this survey. Counting now. Now, I understand that before tonight, the 4th place winner had met, and I'd informed you of their names. Izuchukwu Nwabara of the Lagos branch and Hassan Sharif of the Abuja branch. Are they in the room? Oh, great. Well, courtesy of another very generous senior advocate of Nigeria, you will be going home with something now. So, my auntie, Mrs. Boma Alabi, SANOON, has very generously endowed a cash gift of 150,000 naira for the 4th place winners. So, gentlemen, you will go home with something. Thank you. So I now hand over to Prof to deal with the survey.
I was actually, where are the 4th place people? What are the 3rd place people? All of you should come to the stage now. Now we get stage now. They are all winners. At least come and take a bow in the stage. You are all winners. Yes. And maybe the photographers can take them with the team before we announce the winners. But initially when they announced, I think the 3rd place winner were to go home with 250,000 naira cash. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I was not very happy that the 4th people were not going home with anything. And my distinguished sister had done the thing that I wanted. I was wishing that it should be done. And because 3rd place was 250 and 4th place is now 150, isn't it? I will add 50,000 to make it 200. So 4th place you gave 200, not 150. Now I've supported my sister Boma to get to. So I just wanted you to show your face because you are too much in the crowd there. So thanks a lot. Before now, we also did a poll, a survey of 9 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association, a sample survey on whether we should discard the wig and gown or not. And this poll was done in meetings, in physical, face-to-face, hard copy distribution. President is here. Meeting of the branches of the bar. Just sample. No particular reason that the places that we were able to reach easily. Abuja branch, we did a sample of discard or not discard wig and gown for Abuja branch. 137 persons said discard. 142 said do not discard. A difference of 50.9% against 49.1%. It was very close. Abuja branch was very close. And so only about 5 votes made a difference between discard and not discard. Buhari branch, which is supposed to be their cousin, they showed a lot of the fact that they are bush people. 37 people say don't discard. Discard. 72 people say discard. Discard. So that's why they are in Buhari. Lagos branch, 89 persons said discard. 59 said don't discard. You expect that from Lagos. Yeah, Lagos people are the future, the AI. AI. Anybody way one where we can go now. Pardon me, I'm not talking to you. Is doing Okonko, my village Okonko, masquerade dance. Masquerade dance. Ikeja branch, 59 said discard. 51 said don't discard. It's showing you they're in the metropolis. Ibadan, 41 said discard. 35 said don't discard. Kaduna, I was surprised, but happy. 115 said discard. 81 said don't discard. Then I went to their sister, Banawa, those IPOP people. 46 said don't discard, my village people. 66 said discard. And so 46 they don't discard, 66 they don't discard. So the other way around against Kaduna. Owerri, 40 said discard, 50 said don't discard. My most shock, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt. By the time this rain go finish, the only thing we can do is to ask the rain to push them to another country. 96 say discard. 203 say don't discard. I was shocked. I was shocked with Port Harcourt result. I was shocked. So total 660 lawyers say discard. 759 said don't discard. And the percentage reflection is 46.52 say discard. 53.48 say don't discard, which is a reflection of what we had now. So this is a national survey. So you have used today's poll, thank God we did it, to validate this one I've done. So for now, the don't discard, have it. Yes, yes.
Yeah, Prof. I sincerely hope that the tribunal has been constituted, because if we are about 20,000 lawyers in the country, and the poll statistics is less than 1,000, then it means it's not properly representative of the total population of lawyers. So we really must make this more inclusive for us to use it for any form of, as a basis for any form of deduction. Because I believe that the outcome, if every lawyer were to be able to participate in that poll, would be completely different from what we have just heard about that survey. So I don't think that survey has sufficient probative value, and that's why we are headed to the tribunal.
That's very nice. Actually, in the report which I have written, I said I pointed out weakness in the report. The weakness that only 1,419 persons were polled. It's a weakness, but that's how polls are done. You can't do poll with the greater number. You do a sample, and so you have a feeling. At least with this number, we have a feeling of what, and we have validated it here too today. We have a feeling of how lawyers still feel about the wig and gown. Oh, was it discard? What was the percentage? 46 said discard. 50? Okay, 46 they retain. Yeah, but it's still, yes, good. Oh, 46 they don't discard. But it's still not, it's still a validation because the numbers are close. Yeah, it's close. 50, early 50 something and late 40 something. The numbers are still close. You show, so the president will be happy because the president doesn't want the wig and gown to be discarded. So yes, please. Yes. We can still do more polls. I mean, it's not yes. Yes, Chairman, I hand over to you. You can now talk.
Well, the poll is closed. If you don't like the results, yeah, we must close. Now, just to further titillate you, I had announced that the winner or the winners of this debate will go home in addition to the enhanced cash prize of 1 million naira, courtesy of SAN, will also go home with 2 sets, or because there are two debaters, 2 sets of premium wig and gown, courtesy of, and you can see, no, this is not the one you will be going home with. But we're showcasing the quality of the wig and gown donated by Mr. Omojo Wada, lead partner CEO, Solohan Apparel. Thank you. Now, just so that you know, he has donated not only the 2 sets that the winning team from the debate will go home with, he's also donated a 3rd set, which will be auctioned at the dinner tonight. So make sure you come for the dinner. In addition, I want to showcase to you the 1-bedroom. Yeah, sorry, where is he? I understand that our general. Oh, please come forward, sir. Thank you. Please clap for him as he comes up. Now, for those of you who do not know, he's a lawyer. He's lead partner at Solohan and Co. He's also a legal outfitter. Say a few words, sir.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. All protocols duly observed. My name is Omojo Wada, and I'm the founder of Solohan and Co. In as much as I'm not so happy with the with the results, because obviously that's about to throw me out of business. I would like to say that the participants did a great job. Me personally, I feel like the wig and gown is very important because it hides, there's some lawyers that earn as low as 20 to 40,000 in some jurisdictions. If we do it with the wig and gown, how would they be able to afford a nice looking suit like the one that my Leonard Silk, Mr. Oguli SN is wearing? They can never wear it. They would never be able to afford this kind of suits. And you see them in court, they will look tattered. So I feel like, more discussions should go on about this, and I'm hopeful that the future of the legal careers of lawyers is certain. So in that regard, I'm happy for the participants, and I think I brought the cards, if I can present it to them, the 2 parts. Oh, okay, that's fine.
Thank you. Now, that is the 1-bedroom apartment that the lucky star winner at tonight's dinner will go with. Weekend getaway for 2 at Boho Residences. Thank you. Now I hand back to Prof to announce the winners. Please clap for them.
Well, I think the participants, the competitors were giving great feedback at the semi-finals. The judges may say a few words in addition to, but they have been giving quite, and we chatted, we also gave ourselves some feedback. So it's a building block. This is an educational challenge. It's not only just for the fun of the wig and gown, but it's also a learning process for a lot of young people who are watching. So I congratulate both teams for a great job, and the SLP for organizing this. I hand over to Shehu to deal with the result.
Thank you very much. And first of all, it's a privilege to be able to sit amongst our young colleagues who are budding forensic advocates, and I want us to appreciate all of them, including the semi-finalists. And perhaps we should bring up stage now the third place winners. They've already been decided before now, and that's the team of Grace Apollos and Tohi Balade. Can you just come forward? You're already the third place winners, if you're in the room. With respect to the finalists, we had earlier given feedbacks during the semi-finals, and it's obvious they took those observations from the panel of judges. The criteria by which they were graded, as earlier announced by Prof, are on presentation, which carries 30 marks, content 30 marks, appearance 10 marks, time management 10 marks, and the quality of their rebuttal 20 marks, making a total of 100 marks. Now, the final results. Judge number 1 graded a team 76.5. Judge number 2 graded that team 80.0. Judge number 3 graded that team 77.0, making a total of 233.5, the average of which produced a final score of 77.83 for that team. Please, a round of applause for the team. For the other team, judge number 1 graded the team 84.5. Judge number 2 graded 84.0. Judge number 3 graded 87.0. The average ends up 85.16. And the winner is the team comprising of Victor Ekena and Oluseun Olisa, Team B. And of course, runners-up, Team A, comprising Sophia Udolisa and Moody Johannes. Can we celebrate both of them? Come on, let's keep celebrating them. Let's keep celebrating them.
Be the best, number 1 and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited.